Welcome to Dodgers Daily. Casey Porter here. So glad that you decided to tune in. Fans, today we have a very, very, very special guest, a guy that you want to know about, a right-handed pitcher that is absolutely ripping it for the Dodgers in the minor league system, Cam Day. Cam, have you always been a redhead?
Ever since I could see, yeah. So hopefully it's not a trick my parents have been playing on me this whole time. We'll see.
Okay, fantastic. So Utah just entered the Big 12. That's where you went to college. I just saw the other day where they just basically outsourced their entire athletic department to a separate business entity. That's crazy. And then what do you think about that?
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram the other day, and I was kind of shocked. Personally, my thoughts on the NIL are not very positive towards it. I don't like it. I think guys should just go out there and play college ball to play college ball. Obviously, it's great that guys are getting paid, but I think when you bring in private equity and stuff like that, it just creates a whole bunch of other problems. So yeah, we'll see where that goes, but I think it's kind of a crazy push for college athletics.
You're this very laid-back dude, and then when you get on the mound, it's like the exact opposite. It reminds me like the Gus Varlin plight all over again. Nicest, most laid-back, hey, yeah, whatever kind of guy, and then you get on the mound, and just like, who the hell's that guy, right? Where did all this come from?
It's just what my dad taught me growing up, right? Just having passion for the game, and as I played more and more, it just gradually focuses in and shows a little bit more, especially in those big games. I love the momentum. I love the energy. And so I love when I get to express it in the games.
Did you see the 0 this year?
I did.
Oh, look at that. Look at that smile, huh? I got to know all about it. Hit 100.
I did. So it was our our first playoff game against the Springfield Cardinals.
Oh, for Tulsa. It was with Tulsa.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And I had a rough outing earlier, that very first outing, came back, and I was just feeling the momentum. We were in that playoff game. It was the very first one, and I wanted to win so bad. And I kind of blacked out, so I don't remember everything that happened or exactly what count it was. But, it was first. I think it was first pitch, but up and away, 100. And the rest of that game, I sat like 98, 99. So it's definitely one of those energy moments that got me through there.
So was it a 4-seam or a 2-seam?
4-seam.
Oh, nice. And that's a pitch you actually added that when you got to the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, I added it so we were playing around with it when I got to the Dodgers. And then this year was like the first time I really started to use it and kind of dial it in. So to see the progress that it made and hit 100 with that was really cool.
Do you know the spin rate on it?
I have no idea.
Oh, really? You just know it's 100 miles an hour. That's good.
Yeah, our stuff doesn't show it. I got to go to our analytics guys for that, but I'm assuming it's pretty high. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and then also you added a slider. So you were basically a 2-seam changeup guy in college. You added a slider and a 4-seam since you've been with the Dodgers. How's the slider coming along?
Slider's coming along great. We formed 2 different kind of sliders. I have a big sweeper, so I have that, and then we got the smaller slider that is around 90, 91. So I got to add a lot of pitches and a lot of different mixes. So
that was one of my questions I was going to ask here too. You used to be a former starter, so kind of where it's the Bink. I was talking to Sean Coyne, and he was like, "Yeah, it's the Bink asparagus thing all over again." Former starter, reliever, very competitive, big mix, but also a very, kind of elite, top shelf type of mix in terms of the offerings. So the fight between, okay, do I want to be a starter? Am I a reliever? That type of deal. Did that have an effect on you, or are you settled in there?
It did for a little bit. It was easier when I had got into pro ball with the Dodgers. They obviously let me start, and I went through the situations of piggybacks. And that's obviously kind of like a hard role to control and really build a lot of progress off of, just because you're a starter, but you kind of come into like a relief role and then you go 4 innings. So that was adjusting to that and kind of getting that all cemented out was tough. But this year I was doing the piggyback and starting role. Halfway through the year, we switched and I went into the bullpen, and it just gave me a little bit more of a solidified and comfortable, like stuck up role. So
Can you take us through your mix right now?
Yeah, so right now in the bullpen, I don't use the sinker as often.
Oh,
I'm just
really?
only, yeah,
Huh.
yeah. We're gonna move that to be probably a pitch for guys that struggle with movement. But right now, with how powerful the four seam is and the sweeper is, more just a strategic thing.
Okay.
I threw a lot of sinkers, and so it would get a lot more contact. It's obviously a contact pitch, and so with the four seam, we're creating a little bit more miss, and especially with it being 98 to 100, it's been a really good pitch to have and use a lot. So developing that, having the sweeper, I've got a curveball and a cutter, or like the bullet slider that I've been using in the bullpen, and that's usually to lefties.
So many offerings, and they're all very, very good. I mean, the thing about the velo is you've always been known as a movement guy, a guy that you look at and you go, man, that movement's just absolutely dirty. Now you have the top end velo to go with it. It's a perfect case scenario. So I asked that to say, or to ask this question, how do you get to all that in a relief setting? Now, the piggyback's one thing because that's kind of like a start, but you're a second starter. But just being strictly a reliever, how do you get to a sweeper and a bullet cutter and a changeup and a curveball and a four seam? And how do you get to all that in a relief outing?
So this year, when those situations came about, it was usually one batter that would struggle with that specific pitch, like the changeup or like the sweeper. A lot of the righties would struggle with sweeper a lot. And so it was easy because I could just flip that in anytime against righties. The bullet slider, like cutter-ish pitch, was a lot of lefties.
Yeah.
I'd be able to throw that and then the four-seam fastball off of it and then create a deeper look with the sweeper.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just, I had a plan. I would research the guys beforehand and go through situations with Duran. And obviously when I was in Great Lakes with Coin, we did a lot of that, trying to figure out what hitters can't hit which pitch. And so I kind of learned to do that and kind of form my own plan of attack.
Yeah. You got off to a very rough start. You had a rough June. And so was there a time where you sat down with Coin and went, you know what, I know I'm an undrafted free agent, but I'm a hell of a lot better than this. I'm a major league caliber pitcher. We need to come up with a plan here. Did you have that moment?
Kinda, yes and no. There was obviously a moment where I had a couple rough outings. But to go back to talk with Coin, it was really easy to figure it out. And Coin made it a really smooth process of figuring out how the bullpen is going to affect everything and how I can move from a piggyback starter role and just use my best pitches and go attack.
Yeah.
So it wasn't necessarily like a big change or a big conversation with Coin to figure everything out. I knew that I'm a good pitcher and that I can blow any of these guys away. And so it was just showing that.
Second half of the season, absolutely. I mean, it was like, oh my God, this is absolutely incredible. It's like, it was almost like that eureka moment where the switch just flipped and it's like, there's Cam Day right there. That is the Cam Day I've been telling everybody about forever now. So what was, I mean, now you've hit on several of the different aspects of it, but what was it that led to that just incredible second half of your season?
Yeah. So, Rubeck, Makarowicz, Hobbs, when I got to the bullpen, they were a big piece of finding that competitive role. And every time I would get up there, it's like, all right, Cam Day's going in, best closer in the Midwest League. Like, just really good hype up guys. And I credit a lot of the competition and a lot of the success to them. And then on the other side of it, it was obviously Coin, showing me how good my stuff is and helping me formulate a good plan to be so successful and be so competitive and let the competitive battles be the only thing I have to worry about out there.
So you love the adrenaline. It's obvious. You love being excited. You love doing all that. So is that something that you try to ride that wave of adrenaline, or you try to suppress it a little bit so to make sure you're still executing? How do you do that?
It's funny because I think when I get into that competitive mode and kind of like black out, my whole sequencing, my whole command, all of it just elevates for some weird reason. And I think it's a really good skill that I was given. And so I think that side of it is just where I go to. I just try and ride it and let it all figure itself out and just compete and know that what I've done before to prepare for the moment is going to get me through it.
Are there any individual hitters, you don't have to give names, but are there ever individual hitters that bring out the competitive element in you that just kind of raise your game a little bit to go along with the timing of the game?
Those good left-handed hitters in Double A. Chase Davis, one of those guys that I actually played against in college at Utah. He was playing for the University of Arizona. So getting to play him again was pretty cool. But yeah, those lefties, those big, hard hitting lefties are a tough one, but it's a good competition and it really challenges me. So.
You mentioned Tulsa. You got to make that jump in early September. That was a really cool deal because Tulsa was making a playoff run. They had added Fox and Crowell and Tibbs and Earhart, and I mean that was an exciting time to be a Tulsa Driller. So talk about that transition.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I remember going into the locker room after our Lake County game, and our manager calling everyone up and getting that news for the first time was really cool. But then joining that team, like that coaching staff is unbelievable. Just great guys who know what they're talking about. And then on the player side of it, like the talent we have there in Double A is like none other. Seeing the preparation that guys go through and how they approach the game and just being put into all of it was awesome. There's a really good chemistry and a really good vibe there that made it super easy to just jump in and join. Yeah. Obviously, I played with a bunch of them in spring training and in low A, so it was easy to get to know and get into it. But
I gave Carson Hobbs hell whenever I interviewed him about how you beat him to the zero, right? He got a good kick out of that. So let me ask you a question about him. He was maybe the best reliever in all of baseball from start to finish. Last year, you got to see that up close and personal. What made Carson Hobbs so good?
Oh, my gosh. Hobbs is so good because he is so consistent.
Yeah.
And his stuff is unbelievable, but he's probably one of the best competitors that I've ever seen play the game. I've seen a lot of great players play. Kershaw came to low A with us. But, like, when Hobbs gets out there, it's like we had a saying, like, in the bullpen, it's like, oh, when Hobbs is in the game, it's over. Game's over.
It was.
So, like, it's unbelievable to see him throw and the level of preparation and the level of competition that he's at. He's definitely well above everyone else. And he's kind of like one of those guys I modeled my game after when I got to the bullpen to try and follow that.
I always put you and AMAC together. Do you kind of consider yourselves both on the same plight? You know, both guys with extremely top shelf type of stuff, guys that could be starters if you needed to, but move to relief pen, and guys that when you're executing, you get outs every single time. Do you see that link?
Oh yeah, 100%. And Mac is one of those guys too that, like, his fastball's way better than mine. He's got probably the best fastball in all of baseball. It's ridiculous.
It is.
But yeah, we're definitely very similar pitchers. Obviously, the command and the execution piece is like our biggest main focus right now. But yeah, his stuff is unbelievable, and we both like kind of we'd play catch together and bounce questions and stuff off of each other to try and find out our sweet spot of the command pitchers, the execution, the contact versus the just raw stuff to get guys out.
Yeah, you know, so the power part of things, the adding velo, the adding backspin, the doing all that, that's scientific. I mean, there's things you can do scientifically to make your body stronger to be able to do those things. The execution piece is more of a feel thing. You can't just go in a lab and just do that overnight or over a 6-month period. So what types of things do you do to increase your execution?
I think for me, it's obviously different for every guy. For me, it's not thinking too much.
Yes.
A lot of guys tend to overthink it and over focus on one spot or one little movement in their mechanics. For me, it's easier to just go out and compete and just fall back on what I train, right? So the plyo drills we have before, everything I do I prepare for that moment, and I'm just going to go out and compete, and find my spot and attack that spot.
Yeah. So you mentioned that, and you mentioned all of the data that you have in terms of overthinking. And so you're a guy that definitely likes to game plan. You like to think about, okay, what are we doing here? You're the type that, hey, if you're coaching you, it's not, hey, let's tell him to do this. We need to explain to him why and what the reasonings are so you can buy in, that type of deal. So I say that to say all the modern analytics, you said you don't know your spin rate. How much do you dive into those, and how much do you use all of those analytics to your benefit?
So, yeah, for sure. For me, I love the analytics and I love that side of it. And when I'm creating a new pitch or expanding on the pitch, I definitely use a lot of the analytics. But like when I go out and play, I've dialed back on what I look at, like the analytics, kind of just the statistics for hitters, and just let my good stuff beat guys out. So
yeah,
I've let myself compete a little bit more and taken the pressure off of that analytics side. But some guys love that. So.
Did you ever get to call your own pitches this year?
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's between you and the catcher, and especially in the game plan meetings when you start, you always kind of like tell the catcher what you want to throw. So you guys both are working as a team on that. In the bullpen, it was less of me calling my own pitches and just trusting my catcher. In the bullpen, it was a lot easier because I was just throwing fastballs and sweepers just because they were so good, and those guys really couldn't handle it at that point of the year. And so I would just trust my catcher. But there's definitely times where I call my own pitches and I got to give a shake or something and go back to what I feel is good.
I'm going to say this with the utmost respect. Trust me when I say that, in that you are extremely confident, but I'm going to also say you have a little cockiness to you, which I absolutely love. I think you have to be cocky in a game that has as much failure as it does in baseball. So how do you handle that part of it, not being too overly cocky to where the other team puts a target on you, but still being confident enough and showing enough cockiness to where there's an intimidation factor to it?
Yeah, I think there's a very fine line between like cockiness and confidence, right? And so that's kind of how I approach that and go about that. I try to be confident in myself, and I'm not going to disrespect anybody else or the game, but I'm going to show the emotion for when I do things right or when my teammates do things right, and I'll leave everything that's not on the field out of it. So if it's a good moment, I'll definitely show some confidence and some energy, and people will know, but it'll always be within myself. So,
okay, let's ask a little lighter questions here. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, what is the most excited you have ever been on the baseball field, and what was it in response to?
Oh, that's so tough because there's so many great memories.
Yeah.
I would honestly say that playoff game was pretty fun.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the most excited games of my life. Getting my name called in the bullpen, being a fresh AA guy, to go compete to play in the playoffs was something different, especially at that level with those caliber of players. That Springfield Cardinals team was one of the best in all of AA, and so being able to compete in that moment was one of the coolest. One of the most exciting moments for me.
I did not put this question on the question log. I did that on purpose because I wanted to see kind of what your response is to it. What is the best thing that you ever saw Zaire Hope or Josue DePaula do on the field?
Oh, that's even harder.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Everything they do is incredible. They're just incredible players, and I would probably have to say for Zaire Hope, his home run in Dayton. Man, he pretty much hit the apartment buildings on the other side of the street. That was
and screw the Dragons too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. But no, that was definitely one of the coolest moments I've ever seen from him. And I think for DePaula, I wasn't on the field, but we were all watching it in the clubhouse when he hit the home run at the Futures game. That was an incredible moment that we all got to watch. Unfortunately, we weren't there, but cheering him on back in Great Lakes was really cool. So,
What was it
Those
like
are the two best moments for them.
What was it like getting to watch Kendall George steal 100 bases?
Man, he's electric.
Oh my gosh.
Like every bag that he steals is just incredible, because it's like he leaves and then the next second he's there. So seeing him get to that level of base stealing, and just that requirement for him was really, really cool. So it was kind of fun to be a part of that history.
Yeah.
But like, props to him, man. He's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, and that run that Geloff went on there towards the end of the season, is that just about the most incredible offensive run you've ever seen? And does he hit the ball further than anybody you've ever seen?
He really does.
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone get so hot that fast.
Oh, man.
And it was just one after another. But like, it goes with all of our players, everyone in our organization. Like, those hot moments are just the bottom tier for those guys. Like, there's so much more to them, and I know Geloff is gonna do that all season at some point, and so it's cool to see those guys succeed at that level.
Okay, what's the funniest thing you ever saw one of your teammates do?
Ooh, funniest thing. We were in the dugout in Great Lakes, and someone put some bubble gum on a cup.
Oh no!
And put it to the hat, and they left it there for like 7 straight innings. And at the end of the game, the bubble gum was in the hat so well that it had like dried, and you just couldn't get it out.
Oh,
so
God!
Being a part of that and seeing that guy walk around the dugout for 7 innings was pretty funny.
So do you get unlimited bubble gum and seeds there in the dugout of Great Lakes like they do in Tulsa and Oklahoma City?
Oh, yeah. Johnny Dukes keeps it all stocked up in there. He's one of the best clubbies I've ever been around.
Absolutely awesome.
He takes good care of us.
You love the adrenaline. We talked about that. What's your go-to song to get you hyped up?
Ooh. It's funny because I before games, I don't listen to like crazy pump-up music.
Yeah? Okay.
So I put on Luke Bryan or Luke Combs, some country. And
you got to be kidding me, really?
Yeah.
So do you like the Tracy Chapman version of Fast Car or the Luke Combs version? Which one's better?
They're both so good in different ways. I think originals are just so much better, but Luke Combs did that really well.
He did.
So,
when I hear Tracy Chapman, it's like, oh, this is way better. Then I hear Luke Combs. No, that's better. I go back and forth depending on which one's on at the time, right?
Yeah, they're just so good in their unique ways.
Okay, very important question here. A dirty-ass slider that makes a professional hitter look like they've never seen a breaking pitch before, or a 100-mile-an-hour fastball where you blew them away and they had no chance? Which one makes you like, oh, hell yeah, let's look more there?
That's a tough one. I did the slider one this year. I had that happen. So that was cool, and I know how that feels. But I'd probably say 100, because there's nothing like it to turn around seeing 100 on the board. So I know I can throw sweepers like that all day long, but if I can throw 100 like that and blow by someone, I'll take that for sure.
What's the most challenging thing you've ever done outside of baseball that you tried to actually be good at?
Golf for sure.
What's your average score in golf?
It changes because in season we don't get to golf as much.
Yeah.
And Christian Rubeck gave me an earful of that.
Oh yeah.
But like right now it's low 90s.
Oh okay.
Mid 90s. So
okay.
Not terrible, but in season it wasn't as great.
Yeah. Do you remember your longest drive? Are you a long hitter?
Oh yeah, I just swing as hard as I can when I get to drive. I've probably had a couple close to 400. I know this year I've had one at 370.
Yeah. You ever hit one over 400, then like 3-putted and like, oh, I wasted that drive? You ever done that before?
I did that last week. Yeah,
unfortunately.
My God. So that one's still fresh. Yeah.
I hit home a little bit too soon there, didn't I?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the Utah air. I'm going to blame it on the Utah air. It's a little different.
Yeah. Very good. Okay, so last fun question here. Over under on the amount of times at the University of Utah that you had to shovel snow off the field to either practice or play a game?
Ooh, at least 5.
Oh man, and you remember it like
We-
yesterday, right?
Oh yeah, because the first time I did it, it was my very first start against Washington. I ended up going like 6 shutout
nice.
innings, but I was shoveling snow for like 4 hours the day before. So
Okay, Cam Day, this has been a lot of fun. I appreciate you joining Dodgers Daily here. And wow, what a season you had. I cannot wait. I don't know if you're going to start in Tulsa. I would assume you'll start in Tulsa or Oklahoma City, wherever they decide to start you there. It's going to be in Oklahoma somewhere. I can't wait to see you in person all next year and see the progress you made because, man, you have really gone up the ladder. But hey, I do have one more question for you. You were an undrafted free agent, right? And so I talked to Jack Dreyer about this, to Austin Gothier. Is there an extra chip on your shoulder to say, you know what, I wasn't drafted and I'm going to show you guys?
definitely 100%. And I think like with my skills and who I know I am as a player, it makes it that much better to succeed and really want to improve. I know a lot of guys don't get the opportunity I get as a free agent. I was talking to our analytics guy the other day. The odds of a free agent guy making it to AA aren't very high, especially if you compare draft guys versus free agent guys.
Yeah.
But I kind of push that all to the side and just work as hard as I can and be the best player I can and let everything else work itself out.
Cam Day, this has been such a wonderful honor. Hopefully this isn't the last time we get a chance to talk, and just great season, and thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you for having me.